foolish mortals.
Welcome, foolish mortals, to Careless Talk episode 9. Cheers. Ooh, it tastes good.
Oh, it's really good.
Yeah, I feel like that 100 proof vodka isn't too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's like a kiss.
Like a kiss. Wait, like a chocolate
kiss
or like a...
It like it hits
yeah,
you where
it
it's
does.
supposed to, you know?
Bam! Right in the kisser?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
So this episode we're going to be talking about Haunted Mansion, and we did definitely want to talk about the rides as well as one of the original movies. I know that you are huge on the Haunted Mansion rides.
Yes.
You definitely know a lot more than I do about it. So
yeah, the Haunted Mansion is my favorite ride at Disney. It's been there for as long as I think the park was open, maybe a few years after they opened it up. But the aesthetic of the inside decorating to the cast members who actually dress up and kind of talk like they're, dead, being that true ghost host. I just love it. When I was little going onto that ride, I used to get really scared.
That's funny.
Like when we would go into the elevator portion of it and how the ghost host is like, is this room stretching?
Is this haunted room actually stretching? Or is it your imagination?
And to see that man hanging himself, like that shit used to creep the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Like I literally thought there was a man hanging himself at the Disney park.
That's funny. I think one thing that's cool too is like they put so much into waiting in line. It's not just like the normal wait the line process, because in a section of it you're inside of the house and like you still get to see like portions of what the inside of the house looks like. It's not just like, I don't know, it's just not something, like they actually put effort into that part as well.
Yeah, they make it so immersive. Like when you're in the line, you feel like you're in this haunted house where they have like lightning going on in the back by the windows. So it looks like you're in someone's house during the night during this crazy storm.
Yeah.
You walk past these like portraits that like as the lightning strikes, they turn into like skeletons or something scary. And then they have like a little showing of a few, what is it called? Those statues with just the head and the neck.
Yeah.
And they kind of stare
it's like
at you.
headstones, right?
Exactly, right. They like stare at you while you're walking through the line, and I think it's so brilliant. But being a little kid, I was scared.
Yeah.
I remember being like, oh shit, they're staring at me while I'm walking through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean the decor like this with that type of outlining on the wallpapers, it's so amazing. It's so fun. Yeah, I love it.
That's awesome.
I fucking love it.
Yeah, that's good. I like never went to Disneyland as a kid, or like not
No?
that I can remember, so I like can't relate on that aspect of it being scary.
Well, also my parents, I mean they took us every year. My parents were making good money at that time.
Nice.
So my parents would like mess with us and like tell us like, oh, they're gonna get you, Stephanie.
That's funny.
Or like my older brother would joke after that elevator scene and be like, where's my wallet, Stephanie? Someone took my wallet, and do stupid shit like that where I was like, fuck, where is your wallet?
I definitely think though the cast, they did go all out for this, and I was really curious at how it was going to relate to the other movie, just because the other movie, it's such a classic, it's something that we grew up on, and it's just something that's always in like my lieu of movies that I watch for Halloween. And so I was really curious at how this one was going to tie to that other one, because I feel like a lot of times there's these remakes and then it's just not very good.
Yeah, it's not that great. I agree. I thought they did a great job. Everything about this movie, to the actors, to the location of the movie, it was such a good comparison to the ride.
Yeah. So before we do a deep dive into the movies, we did want to go ahead and talk about the drink. Look at how pretty this is. It's so green. It's like a, I don't know, would you say seafoam?
Yeah,
seafoam
definitely.
green. which is really pretty. But it does have just an ounce of vodka and a ounce of blue Curacao.
Blue Curacao.
I'm so bad at saying that. I don't know why. The struggle is real.
Ciroc like last time.
Yeah.
So yes.
Ciroc, yeah.
Ciroc.
That's so funny. Anyways, and then just a splash of orange juice.
Yeah, I feel like that orange juice and blue Curacao really, highlights that green, gives it that glowy sense to it. It's awesome and it's a great taste. It's basically a screwdriver with blue Curacao.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. I do have some new shirts in the shop. You can see my new Hatbox Ghost. It was definitely heavily inspired by this new Haunted Mansion movie, plus my favorite ride at Disney, so check it out.
Yes, it looks so good.
Yes, I love it. It came out great.
Yeah, it did. Good job.
Yay!
Let's get into the movies.
Let's do it. So, there is a huge difference between the iconic Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion movie that I know you really love and this new Haunted Mansion movie.
Yes. We kind of did some research and we were actually found out, and it kind of makes sense now that I know this, but the Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy is more all about love, and this new one is about grief. And, with the cast that it has, you would think that grief wouldn't be a part of this movie,
right,
because there's so many actors that are actually really funny.
Oh yeah.
They have that comedy relief, and so it would be something that you wouldn't really expect.
Yes, so I know for this new Haunted Mansion, they actually had one of the writers from Parks and Recs help write this script.
Oh, interesting.
Did you ever watch that?
I never watched that show. That was not my sense of humor. I cannot. Nope.
Oh, I loved it. So she was a part of it, and what was great too is that I read that the director, he has worked at Disney before. I guess he ran the Grizzly River Raft.
Oh, interesting. That's
cool. So
cool.
he kind of had that Disney background too. So to add on that big phenomenal cast that they hired, with very big comedians in it, it all just played out really nice.
Ramsley, I'm Jim Evers of Evers & Evers Real Estate, at your service.
We were not expecting others.
So they go to check it out, and they are planning to stay for dinner, and then they're gonna leave. Well, a huge storm ends up happening, and because of the storm, there's flooding, and so they can't actually leave the house.
Right. So I feel like that was a different pivot in this movie. In this movie, like you mentioned, it was more on grief. So the main character, Lakeith, who Lakeith plays, Lakeith Stanfield, him and his wife, they ran a tour guide for paranormal hunting, I guess, or activity in different places in Louisiana.
Yeah, she was so he was really into engineer, and he was a really smart scientist type thing. And then he met his wife, and she was into the paranormal stuff. Exactly. And they kind of combined forces.
Exactly. So they were, like you said, they joined forces, were doing that, hunting together. He created this camera to be able to take pictures of ghosts.
Right.
And when she passed away, he kind of lost that type of faith. He didn't believe in ghosts. He was still doing those tour guides as well, though.
Yeah.
He just wasn't into it. I really like, though, compared to the original with Eddie Murphy, because to me, Eddie Murphy was the one who made that fucking movie.
You have very beautiful children, Miss Evers. I kicked in some chromosomes, too.
I loved it.
Yeah.
But in this movie, I did like how they brought in there was a father in there. Spoiler alert, he was a fraud who was played by Owen Wilson. But they also brought in who was it? Tiffany Haddish, who was a psychic.
Psychic, yeah.
And then Danny DeVito's character, Bruce, who did studying on this house. They came in to try and help solve this mystery of the Haunted Mansion.
Wait! I should warn you, before you step inside the house, this could change the course of your entire life.
I'm not afraid of a couple ghosts.
He essentially is supposed to be going to help this family get rid of the ghost so that way they can continue to live in this house. And so he has to make a promise that he's willing to step into the house and that he's not able to leave. Well, he gets to this house and he doesn't realize that he didn't take the time to charge his camera. And so he fakes acts like he's taking these pictures and makes the noises like the camera is going off, like she's fucking stupid. Are you kidding me? And so he ends up like telling them that he doesn't see any ghosts, and he ends up leaving. Well, essentially, as soon as he leaves, this dead fisherman guy ends up like following him, right? And it's kind of crazy because he lives in an apartment in Louisiana, and all of a sudden like he'll randomly see like wet water footprints, and then what ends up really pushing him is his house like floods, like somehow a wave
like
comes
big
out.
Ocean in his house.
Yeah,
is there, right?
it like comes out of the TV or something while because it keeps on switching to like Deadliest Catch, like one of those shows, right?
One of those fish shows.
Yeah, and so his like house ends up flooding, and he like gets pushed out into the water. Or into the street with
really
the
cool.
water, yeah. But so at that point in time, he decides to actually use his camera to see, and like he finds out that there's a ghost sitting on the couch.
A hitchhiking ghost.
Yeah. Well, he's someone who likes to fish, and he's the one that the Deadliest Catch. Yeah. He kind of reminds me of one of the characters from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Who? The main guy or that ghost?
The ghost. The ghost reminds me of Bootstrap Bill.
I don't know which one it is.
It's Orlando Bloom's dad.
I haven't seen those movies in so long. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bootstrap Bill, I think that was his name. Yeah.
You know, actually, the original or the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion came out, I think, a few months after the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Interesting.
It was like a big time for like, live action for Disney back then in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And it was a lot better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now it's just a bunch of fucking remakes, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Who haunts other ghosts? That's not fair.
I hope you like surprises. You're going to be here for quite a while.
In this new Haunted Mansion, they now talk about the backstory of the Hatbox Ghost, which I thought was really cool. It was played by Jared Leto, which, I mean, whatever. Do you like Jared Leto? Do you?
I don't really follow him.
Did you listen to any of his band music? Was it 30 Seconds to Mars? Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah,
I never
Of course
did.
I did.
Did you love it?
Yeah, it was pretty good. They had some songs.
I'm sleeping on it.
No, you're good. It's fine.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing to bring in this storyline for him. And it was cool to see, his parts come into play, and honestly, they made him scary.
Yeah. It's actually really interesting because in the Haunted Mansion, there's all these other ghosts that live there, obviously, because it's a haunted mansion. But the ghosts are afraid of the Hatbox ghost.
Like he's the main guy.
Which like, that is so mind-blowing to me. You wouldn't really think that ghosts would be afraid of other ghosts, because I mean, like, what are you guys gonna do to each other? Do you know what I mean?
True.
Like, you're dead anyways, but...
He's like the ghost of the ultimate ghost. Long story short, he was basically born into a rich family. And once his mother died, he was extremely sad, and his dad kind of, belittled him, I guess you could say.
He, like, shunned him for grieving.
Exactly.
Like, it wasn't allowed to grieve.
Right. So when his father passed away, I guess the Hatbox Ghost, or Alistair Crump, was throwing these lavish parties since, he was rich, and he poisoned all those people there and kept their souls underneath his house, which is basically the Phantom Manor, the Haunted Mansion at Disney World.
Yeah.
So that I thought was really cool. I thought it was awesome that they gave the Hatbox Ghost like an actual name, which was Alistair Crump. I think that was a big cheers to Raleigh Crump, who helped design I think his character and a lot of things of the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Which is I once I heard that, I thought that was so cool. Master Gracie characters in the original one, Master Gracie was Edward Gracie, and in the newer one, it was William Gracie. And I guess the Gracie name was, again, another cheers to Yale Gracie, who helped do a lot of stuff for the Haunted Mansion ride.
Right.
So I thought it was awesome. A little story that I read too that I did want to mention is that I guess Yale Gracie was shot and killed at his house, him and his wife, and still to this day they haven't solved that case, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah, like, why would you go and kill a Disney Imagineer? I don't understand.
Yeah,
He
there
must
has to be something.
Yeah.
Maybe he was a shady character.
Right, or doing some type of, I don't know, I think of drugs or gambling, you know?
Okay, so one other thing that I have to mention, and I love it that this was so behind the scenes, No one knew about it, but Winona Ryder makes an appearance.
Yes.
I love Winona Ryder. She
Me
is
too.
fucking amazing. She's in so many great things, and I just... Like, I don't think that she's underrated, but I almost feel like she's underrated because no one talks about her. Like,
What?
I
She's
feel
in
like...
Stranger Things.
No, I know. She's been in
Yeah.
a lot of things. Like, she was
Yeah.
in Girl Interrupted, Beetlejuice.
Yeah. Oh, she's a fucking star.
Yeah.
I feel like too many people are talking about her. But I love that they didn't mention her as the trailers were coming out for this movie.
Right, because then...
That's how it should be.
Because I feel like it kind of almost sort of, like, took away from the rest of the characters
Is
that are
that
in
a
it.
cheers for Winona?
Yeah, love her.
She needs to get back with Johnny Depp.
Oh.
The last thing I want to mention is the Madame Leotas, the two different characters or actresses they chose. First of all, in the original Haunted Mansion, they had Jennifer Tilly, which is the bride of Chucky. I didn't like her Madame Leota.
Oh no, I hated it.
I
I thought that it was really irrelevant. Which also, I have to mention this one other thing.
Yeah.
I feel like in the
Fucking mention it.
in the old
Can we cheers to that too?
yeah. In the old Haunted Mansion, I felt like the kids were they were not needed.
I don't think so either.
I
Compared
felt
to
like
this actor and the new one, like those two kids were not
Those
needed.
two kids could have just totally not been in the movie, and it still would have had a
That's
plot
what I'm
because
telling
because the
you.
storyline didn't revolve around them at all. They were just
No.
bodies that they like.
Eddie Murphy stole the show. Like
Yeah.
that's the reason why people watch it. I think because of fucking Eddie Murphy. But going back to Madame Leota, Jamie Lee Curtis did an amazing job.
I love
she
her.
does such a great job in everything she does. So finger clap.
Yes.
Yes.
That's funny.
That was just a quick shout out to the Madame Leotas. I just love Jamie Lee Curtis's character way more.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's really interesting how, like, you know, she's always in a bunch of different roles, but I do feel like one thing that she always hones in on is scary movies, you know, like
Fuck, yeah.
Halloween, you know, like that's what I
Yeah.
feel like that's what she's known for.
She was the final girl, I feel like, somewhat in this Haunted Mansion movie. So, yeah, she does a great job with that.
Yeah.
Okay, Nicole, so what do you rate the new Haunted Mansion movie?
10 out of 10.
10s across the board? Is
Yeah.
that what you feel
I
like?
fucking love that movie. It's really good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, OG is OG, but I probably will start watching the new Haunted Mansion over the old one.
Oh, that's definitely a movie now that's going to be in the, what is it, Disney Halloween movies, like, revolving of those movies.
I think one thing, too, like, and I have to point out, is this movie was so funny.
It was.
And I have a weird sense of humor, and I feel like I don't laugh at things that other people laugh at. But with this movie, I was laughing really hard on a lot of scenes, and it's interesting because I feel like usually when there's a lot of comedians, they try to outshine each other, and with this one, it didn't.
Yeah, there were so many comedians. It was Joe Coy. I mean, briefly was in it. Same with comedian Hassan Minhaj, if I'm saying that correctly, and then Tiffany Haddish.
And then isn't Dan Levy? Doesn't he do comedy at all? Or
I know him as just the actor on Schitt's Creek, and he's the son of the dad from American. What is it? American Pie. Yes, and that's all I know him for.
Yeah.
But there was Danny DeVito, which he did a great job too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was awesome in that. I liked how Hatbox Ghost actually got in him, and he was kind of portraying this evil man as well. But I thought it was funny that they still showed Danny DeVito eating in the movie, which he does in, like, what is it? It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and just other movies.
Matilda.
Matilda.
Yeah. Funny.
So yes, loved it.
What is your rating?
I give it a 10 out of 10.
Yes! Look at us. We're never on point.
Yeah, I loved it. They did a great job with location, the movie aesthetic, the CGI in it. What else? The actors, the storyline. It was great. It was what a remake should be, honestly.
Yeah.
Yes. So, good job.
Okay, so I have to bring this up just really quick.
Yeah.
I heard that they're doing a live action of The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm really curious about it. But I mean, Johnny Depp is supposed to play Jack Skellington, and I feel like that's going to be great.
I think so too. I feel like he has that. Well, he's worked with Tim Burton for so long. He's been in a few movies with him, right? Even voice acting. Wait, Johnny Depp was in Beetlejuice?
Oh no. No,
That's
that's Michael Keaton. I'm sorry.
Michael Keaton, yep.
Oh.
Corpse Bride.
He's
Was
in
it
Edward Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands.
That's what it is.
Edward Scissorhands, yes. Classic. Was Sweeney Todd by Tim Burton?
Yes,
Yeah?
I think so.
We'll
Johnny
check.
Depp was definitely in it.
He was definitely in it. I think it's gonna be interesting. I don't know if it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
I don't know yet.
Yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas is a classic. I watch it during Halloween time and Christmas time, and I know there's a debate what type of holiday movie it is.
Yeah.
What do you consider it, actually?
I always watch it for Halloween.
You watch it for Halloween?
Yep.
I do both.
Interesting.
I definitely do both. Even Thanksgiving. It's a Thanksgiving movie, actually. Right in between.
Oh, the Santa Claus is my Thanksgiving movie.
Is it really? Well, you're right there. It's right around the corner. That's
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah. So, it cheers to Santa Claus.
Yep. Well, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and definitely follow us on our mutual Instagram page.
Yes, guys. Be sure to order a shirt. Why not? You like Disney? You like the Haunted Mansion? Get a cool shirt. Rock it. Take a picture in it. Whatever you have to do.
Do it, guys.
Do
you know you want
it.
to. And we'll see you next month. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, first of all, where did he go? And second of all, what is your problem, okay?